Okay, hello and welcome to the latest edition of BundesSpeaker, the podcast from Fresh Off the Gegenpress. I'm Ali Haggis. I'm here with Axel again this week.
Hi.
Um, and we are going to talk a little bit about Bayern Munich today. We're going to talk a little bit about Eintracht Frankfurt today. And we're going to have a look at Stuttgart and Karlsruhe, who are playing in the derby this weekend, and a little bit of tension around that one already. So that's something we're going to touch on later in the show, just briefly. Um, we've decided on a slightly new format for this week, or starting this week. We're going to have a brief look at a couple of the games that caught our eye last weekend and discuss those in sort of very brief detail. Pick out the key results, the key things that have happened, some of the trends to keep an eye on, and at the end of the show, we're going to wrap up with a couple of predictions for the coming weekend. So without further ado, we might as well get going on the review of the weekend. So we're going to have a look at Borussia Dortmund's draw with Hertha Berlin first. So I think Axel would see he wrote the preview for our site on this, and I'm sure he paid very close attention to this one. So I'll let Axel go through it.
Yeah, well, a Berlin game is never as fun um, without Vladimir Drida, of course. But I mean, they're quite fun team to watch. Borussia Dortmund, they're always a very nice team to watch, of course. But this game, Hertha made things very difficult for them, and they stopped Dortmund's attacks already. In midfield with Skelbred and Stark being stalwart in defensive midfield, and with Stocker helping out in defense as well. So they had a very compact unit in defense which proved very effective against this quick, witty Dortmund side. And things got very heated up, of course, after, first of all, Emre Moore got sent off, rightly sent off, I should say. Was very childish views from him, and I think that's what adapt. At least a 2 game ban, you just can't do that. Sure, Langkamp all reacted, but that's a straight red for me. And the same for Stocker, also a straight red, probably 2 or 3 games as
Yeah.
well. That's just a horrible tackle. So the game got actual football got overshadowed by these decisions and these correct refereeing decisions, in my opinion, um, and and also overshadowed by the fact that Aubameyang missed, I think it was 3 clear-cut chances in the second half.
Including a penalty, right?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
quite the weekend for missed penalties.
Yeah, I think it was 5 missed penalties
Yeah,
and
I mean there were 2
10 penalties
in
on
the
the other.
Gladbach game.
Ah, yeah. And the game is between Mainz and Darmstadt, where there were 3 penalties
Yeah,
in that game only. Very
yeah,
interesting. But yeah, so very not very nice football game to watch, um, but quite interesting to watch tactically because both teams, at least Hertha, they executed the tactics brilliantly and took a side truly struggled for like almost the whole game. So yeah, very
yep,
not very nice game to watch tactically, a very not nice game to watch.
cool. And then 2 teams that kept up their unbeaten run so far. One on Saturday, one on Sunday. So Cologne beat Ingolstadt 2-1 at home. Anthony Modeste keeps up that pretty fantastic start to the season he's had, particularly at home. I think he's scored in all 5 of their home games so far. So
Wow.
um, that's an impressive start to the season for him. Is it 5? 4 maybe? 4. Or in his last 5 home games. I can't remember what I saw. I saw the stat, but it's gone from my head. But anyway, I think he scored in every home game they've had this season, um, which is impressive. And Cologne are unbeaten. They're in second place behind Bayern Munich, and it's exciting. We talked before the season about how we were excited for where Cologne were going, and they're producing so far. That defense has been solid, and Modeste is doing what Modeste does best, which is score goals. That ran really well.
Mm.
Modeste is doing what Modeste does best. Anyway, it's not long before Stormzy does a rap on that instead of Pogba. But
Hopefully.
hopefully, just sampling my voice and remixing
Yeah.
it. So Cologne are doing well, and we'll talk a little bit more about them at the back end of the show. And then the big result on Sunday, Red Bull Leipzig or RB Leipzig, continued their unbeaten start to the season, um, prompting a few "Are they the new Leicester?" on Twitter, which everyone, well, a few people that follow German football slightly more closely went, no. Um, but they did, in fact, end the reign of Dieter Hecking as Wolfsburg manager. He was sacked after that defeat, that home defeat, and they had a pretty torrid season last year. But okay, whilst the defensive weaknesses you could put down to bad coaching, I have to personally, I'm looking further up that food chain as to why Wolfsburg are failing. They repeatedly are letting their best players go, and they're bringing in substandard replacements. So that Champions League season, maybe Hecking sort of shot himself in the foot by overachieving and coming second. And it just hasn't been the same since. And it's the players have to take some responsibility for it because they've not performed. But ultimately, I think the hiring policy's got to be looked at because they're not performing and they're not bringing in players that are performing to a high enough level or that are good enough. So whether that changes with the appointment of the new manager, we'll see. But yeah, so Red Bull causing chaos wherever they go. It's been quite the Bundesliga debut for them, actually. You got to give them some credit. They're playing well. They're unbeaten in 7 matches now in the Bundesliga, which for a newly promoted club you can't shake a stick at that. But we'll see how they cope in the coming weeks. I think Marcel Sabitzer, their star central attacking midfielder, is out for 3 weeks. I think so. Now is when the test starts coming. Players start getting injured, and teams start working out what formation and what tactics they're using and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see where Leipzig go from here. But so far, so good. Disappointingly, but in terms of the football, can't really argue with that. Um, Good. So that's our little recap of last weekend. Of course, all the other results are available to find on the internet, so we won't bother going through them. For you can, I'm sure you know them already anyway, but you know, got our thoughts on a couple of those games. And as I say, at the end, we'll give you some predictions for week 8 coming up this weekend, starting on Friday, obviously with Hamburg, which you're going to be at, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give a little side swipe for that one. So the main topic for today's podcast is, well, the two teams that played each other on Saturday afternoon, Bayern Munich and Eintracht Frankfurt. So Frankfurt hosted the reigning champions and the champions elect, if I can be so bold, already. And there were there was happiness on one side and there was disappointment on the other. So Axel's our resident Frankfurt fan and resident Frankfurt expert. So do you want to take us through what went right for Frankfurt, and then I'll have a little bit of a wander through what went wrong with Bayern Munich and whether their fans are justified in being disappointed with the draw?
Yeah, sure. As you said, the Champions Elect already, possibly considering that um, their main like, competitors at the moment are FC Köln. So yeah, I can't see any team actually winning. So yeah, what went right for Frankfurt? It's a hard question to answer. Um, well, first of all, the fans were amazing as always. It's always at home, and together with Kovac and well, some plays, not all plays, some plays. I think we've made Stadion our fortress. It's like our, I think our 8th game in a row without defeat at home, and we're taking like 17 points from 24 possible at home. So I mean that's a really really good result, and I was really happy to see us fighting back when we conceded, because that's Frankfurt have been, at least for the last few years, have been really good at fighting back when conceding and like scoring late goals, but which we've shown this season as well, where we both against, especially against Hertha Berlin, where we very nice game where we equalized in the 30 minutes, I think. And this game was more or less the same, even though we didn't score a late goal. We scored maybe, I think it was 79th minute, and against Bayern Munich to concede 2 goals and then to come back from both of goals. That's really amazing, and I can't actually I can't see a team that has done that in Bundesliga since like a few years back. I think that's really remarkable, and from a side like Frankfurt that have been predicted to finish like 17th this season by many sides, I think it's a really big statement from us to have done that. So personally, I am of course very happy, and our resilience from goal, or the balance in midfield with Mascarell and Hushti, it's great. And the way Kovac set up his team with 5 at the back was always going to end in a nice way, I thought. But it's Bayern, so you never know. But yeah, Kovac himself has lots to. All Frankfurters, we have lots to congratulate him for. First of all, it was his birthday this Saturday, so congrats. And yeah, I mean, as I said, the way he set up his team with his fans and the midfield and the balance in all parts of the team, it's really amazing to see. As a Frankfurt fan, I was absolutely thrilled. I had to actually calm myself down before writing my review at my Swedish site because I felt it would be too yeah, too
Biased.
biased, yeah, too joyful, so to speak.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think
yeah,
it's enticing. I mean, no, I don't know. Would it be exaggerating it slightly to say they could have won the game?
they could have. They had a few chances at the end as well, and so I mean, Bayern had as well. But I think overall we were absolutely worth the points. We were even at times during the game we were even worth of 3 points more than Bayern were. So I mean, I was shocked to be honest during the games to see what we achieved and what we I think
And what do you
what we
think of
can achieve.
what do you think of Alex Meyer so far this season?
Up and down. I think he missed like 2 great chances this game, and luckily for him, his teammates made up for that by scoring goals.
Yeah.
But I mean, he scored against Schalke, he scored against Leverkusen, scored against Berlin. He's only scored at home though, which is a concern. But I think like at least 70% of all his goals from Frankfurt have been at home. He actually rarely scores away at all. So that's no news for us. But yeah, I mean, it's been up and down. His contribution to the team in attack is, of course, very good. He's very important for holding up play and being a link. But in terms of finishing so far this season, it's been a bit underwhelming, especially against Bayern, which is a game where we really need its finishing. But,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I've not obviously not been able to watch every Frankfurt game. That would be quite a lot of work. But just watching that Bayern game, he looked out of sorts. Didn't look like the Alex Meyer I remember watching.
yeah, correct.
But yeah, I mean, if he's still a very influential leader, even if he's not necessarily producing on the pitch. But I mean, he's in that game specifically from what I've seen. But yeah, if you say that he's doing well in the rest of the season, then that bodes well for Frankfurt, doesn't it? Because whenever he's fit, Frankfurt do well. It seems to be the well in the last couple of seasons anyway.
Yeah, more or less. He's truly a god in Frankfurt. He's one of those who he's like a living and playing legend.
Yeah. And just finally on the crowd block, was it block K? The of the Heimkurve was shut this week after the violence in Magdeburg in the cup.
Exactly, and the Bayern fans actually made a kind of a protest against that.
Yeah,
I think it was second half. I think they like kept quiet until the second half, which was, I mean, that's really amazing to see from a club like Bayern, where we all feel are kind of arrogant in many ways, and especially with their fans. But that was very well, I should say humbling thing to see. See
Yeah.
these vice supporters like
Well,
protesting.
there's a strong sense of unity between ultra groups within Germany. You find that
Yes.
other than obviously within the massive rivalries, then they're not. But you find that Cologne fans go around and they get a lot of support from other ultra groups if they're protesting against something. And
Mm,
you find, well, I found last year I happened to be at a lot of Cologne away games just by chance rather than
mm.
by planning. But there was always a very high police presence when Cologne fans were around, and I think that gave everyone a sort of a reason to support them in their protest because for everything that I saw, there was absolutely no reason for that.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Frankfurt fans have a rather dire reputation in Germany.
yeah, I
From
mean,
what I've read.
from what I saw of Frankfurt, that was more deserved than Cologne, but at the same
Yeah,
time, it
it
still
was.
wasn't.
I mean, the shutdown of the build block of Hanko was. I mean, would have been. I mean, they have already shut the block down for like two home games, so I think that should be enough. Don't think more is needed for what was done, considering both Frankfurt and Magdeburg did almost the same thing,
Yeah,
even though Frankfurt did a bit
yeah,
more. But Magdeburg have also had to pay for that, of course, but not in the same extent as Frankfurt, which probably has to do with Frankfurt being more a richer club, of course. But yeah, Frankfurt fans, they've been punished for it. I think it's over now. It should be over now. I think next home game, I hope the K block is back on.
yeah.
Otherwise,
It's,
it's a bit excessive. I'd say.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of reaction they get because obviously, they'll have banners out, they'll have something going on. They always do. They're very vocal
Oh
in
yeah,
their willingness to be able to support the team in the way that they feel is right. And if it goes as far as violence, then obviously that's wrong. But to a certain extent, you can see their point. Holding banners up and whatever should be allowed. But
yeah,
we'll see.
agreed.
Anyway, so Frankfurt were happy with it, and then we move on to those arrogant Bayern Munich fans that you mentioned earlier. I think there was there were two reactions to Saturday, one of which was bring back Pep, and one of which was what in res in response to bring back Pep. Um, there was a very odd sort of. It was a very odd game from Bayern Munich's perspective. It's something we've not seen from them in a while, and they just didn't really get going. They still scored two goals, but they didn't keep the ball very well. They didn't defend very well. They didn't really create a lot that you could nail down as a clear cut chance.
Oh,
Iron Robin scored a fantastic goal, which opened the game out. And but playing against 10 men, even 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 with Pep Guardiola or whatever, it wasn't really a Bayern performance. You wouldn't expect them to throw away a 2-1 lead against 10 men, even away from home, even against a reasonably a team doing reasonably well so far this season. So it was a very odd afternoon, but for people to be jumping straight to the conclusion that Ancelotti's system isn't working, there was a column in one of the German newspapers where the guy was saying that the players haven't got used to this idea of having the freedom that Ancelotti's given
yeah,
because
I saw that. Saw that. Why?
after 2 or 3 years of Pep's very very rigid system,
Mm.
they're finding it difficult to adjust to this idea that they can take responsibility for what they do on the pitch, and I think it will come. The thing I was thinking after watching that from from a neutral perspective, I'm excited because Bayern now look like like they're trying to get back to the team that they were under Heinkes, which was it was far more risk taking. And I don't know whether Bayern Munich fans prefer to keep it very very safe. Guardiola's tactics have always been safe in terms of if you've got the ball and you suffocate the other team, they're not going to score a goal. If they haven't got the ball, they can't score a goal. That's the logic behind the Guardiola tactic.
Mm.
Heinkes was always more if we score more than them, we win, which was way more interesting to watch. And
Yeah,
Ancelotti, whilst he's not quite that far, his team did play good counter-attacking football when he was at Real Madrid, and but he does prefer teams to attack more, to express themselves more, and the players that they've got in that team that should work really nicely. I mean, Thiago, I would argue we've really not seen the best of Thiago under Guardiola because he had to stick to a system. Vidal is the sort of maverick midfielder that can do anything,
Yeah.
but hasn't really had that chance either. Um, I like the look of the wingers they've got. You know, Douglas Costa, I think he could beat anyone, any right back, any left back in the world for pace, for trickery, everything. And they've already got that basis of fantastic passing football that Guardiola developed there. So they've got all the fundamental pieces to be an incredibly exciting and progressive attacking team. What they haven't quite maybe clicked with yet is actually implementing that. And it will take a while, and Bayern fans need to be patient. But at the same time, they're still winning games. They're probably still going to win the title, and if they don't, I'd be very surprised because they just the depth of quality in the squad and the fact that it's a settled squad as well will just help this transition. And it will take a while. We saw with Guardiola changing from Heinkes, it took a while for it to really click. But the same way with Ancelotti, once all the players feel comfortable, once they feel settled, maybe after the winter break, we're going to see them absolutely blitz through. And as a couple of Bayern fans that I saw on Twitter said, we'd much rather stumble at this point than fade in March. And and
Yeah,
that's
fair enough.
you've got to agree with that. In the 3 seasons under Guardiola, once March came and they'd won the title, that was it. The motivation dropped. The Champions League fell away. You can't see that happening under Ancelotti, but they've got to make sure they really kick on once they get through the group stages of the Champions League. Um, but yeah, it's exciting to see where they're going with that. But we haven't really seen the best from them yet. Haven't really seen the best of an Ancelotti Bayern, but
No,
we
no.
will. We will, and I'm excited for it when it comes.
Yeah.
Cool. So those are our two themes for today. Yeah, speaking of fan violence with regards to Frankfurt and Cologne, there's Karlsruhe, Stuttgart's a huge derby, and one that we haven't seen for a while. Stuttgart have been in the Bundesliga for a few years now. Karlsruhe haven't. Been stuck in the second division for a couple of years. So it's back to the old derby this year. So this weekend, that one's going to be going on. I'm not sure which date. Let me just have a look. But all over Karlsruhe, there have been banners going up by the ultras. That's not this weekend. It might be after that. Yeah, it's the weekend after next. The Karlsruhe are hosting Stuttgart, but already posters are going up advertising um, certain unsavory things that Karlsruhe fans are going to do to Stuttgart fans, and the club have distanced themselves from it. The majority of the fans have distanced themselves from it, but I imagine the police are going to be on pretty high alert for that one.
Wow.
It's yeah, so Sunday the 30th of October, that one, so not this weekend, but the weekend after. So we might see how that develops over the coming week, but that's a story to keep an eye on. I think is there anything interesting going on this weekend in the second division? No, not really. No. Stuttgart against Munich. A couple of old classic teams there. Traditionsvereine playing each other on Friday night. Stuttgart against Munich. Fortuna against Armenia. But other than that, not a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, Bielefeld, I generally can't see them hanging on this season. I'm very, very sure that, I mean, Bielefeld will find themselves relegated come May. Because their season so far, don't think they've won a game so far, have they?
No, they're just drawn their way to it.
Yeah. That's like last season, but this season without Norbert Meyer. And that's even worse. So, and St. Pauli, no idea how they landed where they are now, but they need to get their, well, sorry about this, get their shit together. Yeah, and one more thing. Duisburg are at the top of the Liga.
Yes.
Can I just, send kind of a quiet prayer that Duisburg do not get promoted? Because I
Alright.
genuinely dislike Duisburg. No idea why. I think they're just a really, really boring team to watch. Extremely boring team to watch. I genuinely hope that Sportfreunde Lotte gets promoted. That'd be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
I'm actually slightly worried. I think Preußen Munster are third bottom at the moment
Oh yeah, right.
of the third division, which I'm really hoping that sorts itself out because I do not want to see my local team from last year. I do not want to see them disappearing down into the fourth division. That
No,
would be a
be horrible.
that would be pretty tragic for them. They've not been good in recent years, but they've definitely not been that bad. So they've just recently sacked their manager as well, actually. So
Well,
we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so we've had a few manager changes already in the Bundesliga, haven't we? Thinking about it,
yeah.
Werder Bremen have got a new manager.
Mm,
Wolfsburg will soon be having a new manager. Hamburg have a
yeah.
new manager. It's North Germany, isn't it? Really, the North Germans
It is.
haven't really sorted themselves out yet.
I think it's only well Berlin left in the Bundesliga that hasn't
Yeah,
changed manager. Um, of those those teams in Northern Germany. Of
yeah.
course, I mean Northern Germany. Sure, North Rhine-Westphalia can be counted as Northern Germany, but
Uh,
no, not
it's
really.
West Germany.
West Germany. So,
Cool. Right, so we're going to finish the show today with a couple of very mini previews of games that have caught our interest for the coming weekend. Um, so we picked out Bayer Leverkusen against Hoffenheim, Hertha Berlin against Cologne, and Bayern Munich against Mönchengladbach. So where do you want to start with those?
you choose.
Oh, okay. So we'll start by Bayer Leverkusen, Hoffenheim. The what did you call it? A semi-plastic derby?
Semi El Plastico, yeah.
Semi-El Plastico, that was it.
As the probably the actual El Clasico this season was last weekend between Wolfsburg and Leipzig, two extremely plastic clubs. This this flashes less plastic, but still it tastes a bit, I wouldn't like Mother Nature being exposed to it,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah,
Much like with Bayer, the company's medicals would be fun. Their medicals would be wasting. Ah, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, that's a very interesting game. Two very, very two teams you do not know where they are at the moment.
yeah,
It could be, I think, actually tonight it's led by Leverkusen versus Tottenham. I
yep,
think that game could more or less define, or already define, the Leverkusen season in a way. Because if they do win that game, they will win against Hoffenheim. I'm certain. Because
yeah,
or like ride on the six wave, so to speak.
yeah.
But if they lose, well, and they lose to Hoffenheim, I think, which sounds very odd considering how well he's done, but I think Roger Schmidt might be sitting a bit loose.
He
Uh,
doesn't seem on very secure footing in Leverkusen. It's
yeah,
very odd because he's built a fantastic squad there
yeah,
and a very,
yeah.
when they're on their day, that is a fantastic team to watch.
Mm,
So to say that he's on loose ground or thin ice or whatever, whichever, simile or metaphor you choose, it's odd to think that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not quite as convinced as you that would happen this week with two defeats, but you're looking down the barrel if they lose to Spurs, and then the return game against Spurs is in 2 weeks, I think, after that.
mm,
Those two games in the
those games,
Champions
yeah.
League plus the intervening Bundesliga matches will certainly have a massive impact on how their season goes. The next month or so is massive. Well, not even a month, sort of 2 or 3 weeks is pretty big for them.
It is, it is.
Hoffenheim started well.
Yep, yeah, they have lots, lots of goals as always, and a lot better than I had expected them to start.
Yeah,
Nagelsmann has, yeah, he's made some good changes in offline, and
yeah.
it,
Wagner's actually worked out far better than I was expecting him to.
he
I didn't
has.
think I didn't think that was a signing that would work for them at all, but he's scored goals and seems to be fitting in there.
Yeah, he is.
His dream move.
That's hilarious.
Just can't believe he said that. Anyway, so that's that one. What would you predict for that?
Um, hmm,
It's a
uh,
bit unfair. Like if we were doing this tomorrow,
yeah,
you'd use the result from tonight and be like, yeah, I reckon it'll be this. But
exactly.
without that knowledge,
Yeah, I think Leverkusen will win, but I think might be like 4-3. Lots of goals. I would definitely recommend that game.
Yeah.
Hoffenheim been absolutely horrible in defense, which is really surprising considering the quality in defense. Well, the names they have with like Schüler,
Yeah, and
Axel,
share as well.
Chair as well. So I mean, they should be doing lot better than they have been. But yeah, their defense hasn't been good, but their attack has been fantastic. So Leverkusen's defense, well, from time to time it's looking good. From time to time it's looking horrible. Yeah, horrible. So depending on what happens tonight, you know, it could change. But
Okay.
preliminary, I'd say 2-1 or no, I know 3-2, 4-3 to Leverkusen win.
Goals. You're going for goals.
Goals
That's your
galore. Yeah,
prediction. You like forget a score. There'll be this number. There were 7 goals in the game. Is what you're going for.
yeah,
Okay.
goals galore.
I like Leverkusen at home. I am not convinced by Hoffenheim defensively, as you say. So I'm going to go for 3-1. 3-1 Leverkusen. I'm going for that one.
Mm,
All right.
okay.
We'll see how we get on next week.
Yeah.
And then we'll stick with the well 2:30 UK, 3:30 Central European time kickoffs. Another big one, Hertha Berlin against Cologne.
Yes.
You're going to be there?
Yep, I am.
You're having quite a weekend of it, aren't you?
Yes.
I'm not
Two
even
games.
slightly jealous.
uh, well, considering what you did to like the whole spring,
Yeah.
I think it's you can be jealous.
True. Okay.
But yeah, that's a very nice game I've chosen. Considering Cologne are in second and Hertha Berlin are in fourth.
Yeah.
And both teams, yeah, I mean, it has possibly become a rather dull experience considering, not dull by experience, but dull game considering both teams have great defenses,
Yeah.
great goalkeepers apparently. Apparently, Jarstein actually can yeah can be a top goalkeeper, which I have never expected. Um, and Timo Horn is, of course, probably, in my opinion, together with Ben Leno, one of the best goalkeepers in the Bundesliga. Together with, of course, Neuer, but Neuer's obvious. Very interesting game. I don't think Cologne will lose, but I don't think Hertha Berlin will lose either. So
That's
I'm
exactly
going
what I was
with
going to say. I can't see either team losing this one.
so I'm going with like 1-1.
Yeah.
Draw.
That was going to be my prediction as well. It's just one of those games where they're both good defensively. They're both capable of scoring goals, but at the end of it, if it's 1-1 after 70 minutes, I think both teams will go, no, we're not risking it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the sort of game where everyone goes, yeah, they'll both be happy with a draw, and then they'll go and like win 3-2,
Mm.
or have a. It's the sort of game the Bundesliga is famous for being so obviously boring that it's ridiculously unpredictably exciting.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be an intense game. It might not be one for the neutrals, in the sense that I can see it being quite tactical and quite sort of hands on each other, getting physical and getting solid defensively.
Mm.
But yeah, if they can sort of shake those shackles a little bit, if one of them gets a good lead early on, then maybe we'll see something different. But I'm with you on this one. 1-1. Um, neither side looks likely to lose it. And then the game of the weekend, the highlight, is the 5:30 UK, 6:30 Central European kickoff. Bayern Munich are hosting Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Mm.
So, seeing as Borussia Mönchengladbach can't score penalties, or even score against Hamburg, which quite frankly is embarrassing,
Yeah.
um, they're not going to score against Bayern, right?
No.
Mm,
Frankfurt scored 2 goals.
exactly.
So
And
and
Gladbach are famous for being good going forward,
yeah.
which is what makes the thing against Hamburg so much more of an anomaly.
Definitely. Um, so I could genuinely see like Bayern Munich drawing this game, considering how they look against Frankfurt. But it's Bayern Munich, so
It's Bayern Munich
I
at home as
wouldn't.
well.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my money on them losing, but they have lost games at home against other other sides than Gladbach. So and they have lost at home against Gladbach. So,
Yeah,
but
but can you see this Gladbach defense keeping out?
no, no,
I
no, not with Jan Vestergaard.
No. This is what
No,
I can't see a team containing Yannick Vestergaard at centre back keeping a clean sheet against anyone.
no. Hamburg, yeah, that's possible.
Hamburg, yeah, but Hamburg, like anyone, can keep a clean sheet against Hamburg.
Mm, yeah, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's
Except
got
Ingolstadt.
anyone that's got Lasogga up front is not going to be scoring a lot of goals,
Mm,
really.
that's correct.
Mm. Anyway, so what do we like? This is a very difficult one to predict because normal situation you go right Bayern Munich at home against a team with a pretty weak defense against a team that failed to score against Hamburg at home. Would you go like 2-0 home win, maybe 3-0 home win?
Mm.
But it's a top level game. It's a Saturday night game. It's a clash between two traditionally massive clubs. Mönchengladbach coming back to those heights that they were once reached in the 70s. Well, okay, they're nowhere near the heights they reached in the 70s, but they're coming back to that status as one of the top clubs in Germany. It's always one of those games that's very cagey and high pressure, and those are the sort of games that you can drop points in. So, uh, what are you going for? What's your prediction for this one?
Uh, uh, I don't know.
I
I have
know
no idea.
we've both completely bailed on this one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere up at the Allianz Arena.
Why oh why do you choose this game to analyze?
We we chose this one because it will be. I mean, that's basically because it's a fantastic game, and
Yeah.
part of our job here is also to advertise the Bundesliga. I feel that some of
Yeah.
what we do is getting people to watch it, and this is a game you should be watching. You
Yeah,
know,
it is. It is.
forget whatever's on BT Sport on Premier League games on Saturday night. It's going to be rubbish. It's going to be like Liverpool United last night.
Mm.
It's going to be 0-0. It's going to be terrible. I don't even know which game it is, but this is a guarantee that I will give you now that Bayern Munich against Gladbach will be better. And if it's not, then sometimes I'm wrong. But so prediction wise, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for 3-1. I'm gonna go for 3-1 to Bayern.
2-1 to Bayern.
2-1 to Bayern. We both think Gladbach are gonna get a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already doubting myself.
You are. You are.
This is a difficult one.
But
Anyway, it's
3-0
probably
Bayern, that seems a bit excessive.
it
Considering
does,
how
doesn't
Bayern
it?
have been playing lately. So,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna stick with it. I can't change it now. It's recorded. It's in the books. That's my prediction. Okay. I think we probably better wrap it up there.
yeah.
It's been a pleasure as always, Axel. Thank you for
Same
your
to you. Same
contributions
to
as
you.
always. Lastly, we'd just like to pass on our best wishes, our gute Besserung to Breel Bolo.
Mm.
Broke his ankle in Schalke's match against Augsburg on Saturday. Initially, they thought he'd be out until at least at the end of the first round of matches. It was pretty much confirmed after surgery that he was out for the rest of the season. So Schalke will be without Mbolo. That's terrible news for the club, terrible news for their record signing. The player, obviously, we hope he gets better. Quicker than that, that would be ideal. But to all intents and purposes, we hope he gets better soon, as soon as possible. It's a very, very sad injury for a star player,
It
a
is.
young upcoming
Really.
player. So we hope that he recovers and can find that best form that Schalke signed him for again.
Yeah.
Good luck to all the clubs this weekend. Obviously, more luck to Schalke and Frankfurt than any of the others, but we always enjoy seeing the other teams do well. Remember tonight, Champions League, Leverkusen against Spurs, and um, probably more excitingly, City against Barcelona. If you really want to,
Uh,
if you really want to avoid the German teams, but I'll probably have split screen.
yeah. Me too. Me too.
But obviously the Leverkusen game on the bigger screen because
It's Bundesliga.
German.
Yeah, German.
Cool. So that's a wrap on this episode of BundesSpeaker for Fresh Off the Gegenpress. Remember to visit the site, keep contributing, keep letting us know what you think. Remember to check out the La Liga section, La Academia, which is going really well so far. Got another piece up today from Taran. We will keep adding pieces as they are sent to me, as our writers do keep doing their star jobs. Me and Axel will continue to do, what we do best, which is talk about German football. Alicia will continue to do what she does best, which is draw and write about, well, basically anything, but mostly German football, for us at least. And from the team at the podcast, thank you for listening. Tune in again, hopefully next Tuesday, all being well, where we'll be talking about what happened at the weekend and all the things that we won't yet have predicted, but will definitely happen.
Yeah.